For 3 years, Evelyn Carter did not exist. At least, not to the public. Her name had once dominated Wall Street panels, private equity summits, and government advisory rooms. As founder and controlling force behind Carter Dominion Group, a multi-billion-dollar American conglomerate spanning finance, defense logistics, real estate, and global infrastructure, Evelyn Carter had been known as a woman who did not lose. If you enjoy stories of hidden power, billionaire reversals, and justice served cold, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. More elite stories are coming, and you won't want to miss the next one. Then she married Julian Moore. Within months, Evelyn vanished from headlines. She resigned from public board positions, withdrew from interviews, and allowed trustees to front her empire. The media assumed she had sold out, softened, chosen love over ambition. Julian certainly believed it. To him, Evelyn was just his wife, quiet, patient, ordinary. A woman who smiled politely at dinners, deferred during conversations, and never spoke about money or power. What Julian never understood was that Evelyn had not surrendered control. She had only chosen silence. From behind encrypted channels and trusted intermediaries, Evelyn continued to run Carter Dominion Group with absolute authority. Markets still moved when she approved decisions. Governments still waited on her green light. Julian's own company, Moorecrest Enterprises, survived only because Evelyn quietly funneled Carter Dominion capital into its failing structure. Julian believed his success proved his brilliance. Evelyn let him believe it. For 3 years, she endured the subtle humiliations, the way Julian spoke over her, the way his mother, Margaret Moore, treated her like a dependent rather than an equal. Evelyn cooked, listened, and complied while quietly holding together an empire worth billions. Then came the night everything broke. Evelyn had just given birth at St. Augustine Private Medical Center in Lakewood City, California. Her body was exhausted, her newborn daughter sleeping beside her. The room was dim, peaceful, until she heard voices outside her door. Julian's voice was calm, confident. "This is the perfect moment," he said. "She's weak, emotional. She won't question anything." Margaret replied without hesitation. The lawyers prepared everything. Divorce papers, asset transfers, medical power of attorney. Once she signs, whatever little she has left becomes yours. Evelyn's fingers tightened beneath the sheets. Julian laughed softly. "She doesn't understand business anyway." "And the baby?" Margaret asked. Julian paused. "Custody can wait. Courts listen to money." The words struck harder than any betrayal Evelyn had ever known. They had waited until she was most vulnerable. Until she had just given life to their child. They believed she was powerless. In that moment, Evelyn Carter remembered exactly who she was. And she decided the silence would end. Morning light streamed into the hospital room as Julian entered, dressed sharply, confidence radiating from every step. In his hands was a thin leather folder. "Just paperwork," he said casually. "So we can move forward." Evelyn nodded, eyes lowered, voice gentle. "Of course." Inside the folder were divorce papers, followed by company transfer documents carefully written to strip her of any remaining assets. There was even a clause citing emotional instability following childbirth. Julian stepped out briefly to take a call. That was the moment Evelyn had been waiting for. From beneath her pillow, she retrieved a slim, secure device, used only for emergencies. Her thumb hovered for a second before pressing the activation code. Plan Iron Veil initiated. A message appeared. Identity confirmed. Evelyn Carter. Chairwoman. Full authority restored. The response came instantly. Legal, finance, security, and media teams mobilized. When Julian returned, Evelyn was already signing. He smiled, relieved, confident. Minutes later, the hospital doors burst open. Executives in tailored suits entered first, followed by legal teams and private security. Behind them came reporters, cameras rolling, broadcasting live. At the center stood Richard Lawson, Chief Operating Officer of Carter Dominion Group. Julian froze. "What is this?" he demanded. A reporter spoke into the camera. "Breaking news. Morecrest Enterprises collapses after Carter Dominion Group withdraws all funding. Trading halted. Bankruptcy imminent." Screens around the room lit up with crashing stock prices. Julian's phone slipped from his hand. Margaret rushed in behind him, her face pale. "This is a mistake." Evelyn stood. For the first time in years, she did not shrink. "My name is Evelyn Carter," she said calmly. "Founder, chairwoman, and controlling shareholder of Carter Dominion Group." Silence filled the room. "I funded Morecrest. I protected it. I kept it alive. And today, I ended that support." Julian stammered. "You lied to me." "No," Evelyn replied. "I protected myself." She turned to her legal team. "Proceed." Julian and Margaret were escorted out as fraud charges were filed, divorce proceedings initiated, full custody petitions submitted, and compensation claims issued for emotional abuse and attempted financial exploitation. Evelyn looked down at her daughter, sleeping peacefully. "For her," she said softly, "I will never disappear again." By evening, headlines flooded the world. Billionaire CEO reveals identity in hospital showdown. Evelyn Carter walked out of St. Augustine Medical Center not as a wife, but as a woman who reclaimed her empire. And this time, she stayed visible.